Hello, friends, and welcome back to Scaling Stories. Today, I've got some more highly upvoted posts from Best of Redditor updates for y'all. Like always, I'll be reading you the posts and giving you my opinions. And I'll also be working on building up my Minecraft world at the same time, so I hope you enjoy. Also, I'm currently only in Spotify's creator program, so watching on there will help me out a ton. Thank you so much for your support. Today's first story comes from the Am I the Jerk subreddit. It was posted by aardvarkglittering83 on June 15th, 2026, and was titled, Am I the Jerk? My best friend of nearly 9 years ended the friendship after my 27 female wedding. In 2023, I got engaged to the love of my life after nearly 6 years of dating. We waited a couple of years for the wedding just because money was tight, but my parents offered their large backyard. At this time, my husband and I were playing around with ideas on what the wedding could look like. My best friend, who we will call Amy, who I reconnected with in college and had been basically by my side ever since we were both 18, did something amazing and offered to help us plan. My friend and I were fairly different, but I felt meshed together well. She was very much one to go step by step, and I plan in groups and am more spontaneous. I felt like during the planning process, there were times Amy's and my ideas clashed. A couple examples. When it came to my makeup, I just planned to do it with the makeup I already owned. I didn't have a full, complete set, but I was willing to make do because I didn't have the money to spend on new makeup. Amy, seeing my makeup, proceeded to drive me to the makeup store and use her own money to buy me new makeup. When I tried to tell her she didn't need to, she insisted it was okay. My wedding theme was tea party themed, and we wanted a variety of teacups and water glasses. We slowly gathered the cups, teacups, and teapots for the wedding. Amy was certain that the glass cups were a bad idea and we should ditch them. I told her that it was a decoration I really wanted as a piece of the wedding, which she said wasn't a great idea, but she couldn't force it, and it was done. I want to add that her family was of immense help as well. Sound system, food, etc. were provided by them. Decoration and setup/takedown was done by them and part of my family as well, but mostly them. I could not show my gratitude enough, and my husband and I swore that we would absolutely find a way to thank them after the wedding. At every turn that I said, I don't know if we'll include this, can't really afford it, she returned with a, no, I know you and know you'd want this. We were incredibly grateful and insisted that we'd find a way to return the favor or show our gratitude. We were planning either a large, fancy dinner or treating my friend to a spa day, something. Wedding went great, loved it all, and we all rode home in Amy's car. Amy was silent, and when I asked if she was all right, she just said she was super tired from everything, which I understood. She dropped me off at my home, and that was that. We didn't talk for 2 months after that. I wasn't too worried at first because there had been times where, when exhausted, she'd take time for herself and not talk much. But this was way, way too long. I eventually sent her a message letting her know that I love her and that, if there was an issue, I'd want to talk about it because I didn't want her sitting with the issue alone. She proceeded to text me, telling me that she no longer wanted to be my friend. She said that she did have issues with our friendship and that she had been hurt many times, but she didn't want to air her grievances, her words, because she wasn't wanting to discuss it further. I felt left with no idea what happened between us and still feel that way. Reddit. I've racked my brain in every possible way to think of things I had done that hurt her feelings so much that she'd end this friendship this way, and all I'm going back to is the wedding. Looking back, I'm thinking maybe she was overwhelmed, or the way my husband and I were going with planning stuff out wasn't working for her and hurting her. But anytime I had told her that my husband and I had something handled or that we were okay with things working one way and not the other, she insisted it had to be done, or else things would be greatly confusing. I'm worried that I'm a jerk and that I should have cut her from helping plan earlier. At least recognize that our planning ideas weren't going to be good for her and that it'd be okay if she was just a bridesmaid instead of all else she did. I even told her that if my wedding was just everyone at picnic blankets and eating deli sandwiches, we'd be happy because it would still be the day my husband and I got married. So I don't know. Was I a huge jerk? Scaling Stories Corner. So I think OP was part jerk and part not jerk here. I feel like OP was really down for a low-key wedding, but Amy had bigger and better expectations for her, which, of course, she is being a really good friend by offering to pay for more makeup and having her family contribute to various things across the wedding. And from what I'm seeing in the post, OP was incredibly grateful to Amy and her family and insisted that she was going to pay them back someday somehow. So I think being OP, you did everything right as a friend who was receiving a gift from someone else. But I feel like for Amy, maybe that wasn't enough. Maybe OP needed to go over the top with her thanks and everything and like really hammer in the gratitude. And if that's the reason why Amy is mad at OP, then she's the jerk in this situation because OP never wanted any of those things. But I will say that if I was OP, I would have reached out to Amy like the day after the wedding, or maybe even the week after if there was like a honeymoon or something. Because if Amy was my best friend, I don't think I could go 2 whole months without a single message to her. And that goes for both of them. How can you both not send a message to each other after a big celebration like a wedding? It just makes no sense to me if you're both best friends. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, "You promised her and her family repeatedly that you would do something major to thank them all for their help after the wedding. Then went 2 months of radio silence? Not a good look." OP says, "I do want to say, over those 2 months, I had reached out to her repeatedly, but she didn't respond. After about a month and a half, I wanted to give her distance instead of continuing to pester." Commenter 2 says, "Amy and her family exerted all their effort and resources to pull off this wedding for you, with you, and even rode in her car, dropped you home, and you say, that was that? You didn't even contact her the next day to thank her, or even ask her out for lunch as a gesture of appreciation? You don't know what happened that led to this, but you came here with a list of things you've clashed with her about, but can't come up with a list of actions you can do if you're genuinely concerned about the fallout? Have you ever thought of hitting the road and visiting her personally, or even flying out, if need be, just to show you really care and are grateful, as you said you were? Based on what I know here, and/or the lack thereof, you're the jerk." Commenter 3 says, "I think this is it. She felt, and her family likely backed her up, unappreciated and taken for granted. Did you thank her and her family publicly during the wedding? Because they deserved a massive call out and even some sort of fun, special treatment. Did you personally thank everyone who helped you during the reception? None of this would have been possible without your help. Should have been said a dozen times to a dozen people. Did you offer any gift or physical thanks for the help? Did you thank the family afterwards? What was the experience at the wedding like for her and her family? Were they treated like any other guests or funneled to the side at all? Were there gifts to other wedding attendees or participants that they did not also receive?" Lots of unanswered questions, to be sure, but your post reads like someone who doesn't know how to show thanks and appreciation, to be honest. OP says, "Totally understand, and I think this is the main thing I'm picking up on and something I can learn from. So what I had left out, because I wasn't thinking about it, all during the wedding, she and her family were given thanks publicly during the wedding, and were also thanked privately before, the morning of, and during takedown. I know I'm sounding like I'm backtracking here, but I literally cannot stress enough how much, 'thank you so much, you have no idea how that means to us,' was said. During setup/takedown, when my husband or I had free time, we did offer to assist as well because we felt bad that they were doing this for free. That was declined. In terms of thank yous and appreciation, when talking with Amy, she insisted her family would not want any appreciation gift or thank you present stuff. In the 2 months when she stopped talking with me, I did ask for at least their address so I could send something, because not doing so had me feeling like I took advantage of their generosity. She never gave the address. Honestly, I take responsibility for being the jerk there, as I should have totally had something for the wedding day itself and shouldn't have waited until I was home. This isn't to say I'm not the jerk still, but I do want to just answer the questions asked." OP adds an edit to her post. "Okay, 4 hours in, and the majority is that I'm the jerk overall, and I'll take that responsibility. I'll just say what I'm gathering at this point. The main reason I posted this was because I never wanted to make an F up this major again in a friendship, and it seriously has been weighing on me hard that I hurt someone so important to me, without meaning to the point that they don't even want to see me again. So thank you for pointing out my flaws." Essentially, her family did a lot and deserves more from me, even if there was denial of that from Amy. Her and my differences are separate from her family members, and even if I thank them with words, I should have had something ready for them so I could give it to them then and there, not send later. That was irresponsible on my end and doesn't show the appreciation we had. I should have given something in return to Amy personally as well, probably before the wedding itself too. I should have shown that appreciation because it sounds like, from what you guys have said, she left the wedding and probably just called the friendship then and there. I should have done much more for her before the wedding, so she felt that appreciation through and through, instead of letting it get to that point after and her feeling disappointed. I did bring up religion in one response, so it feels appropriate to say here. They're all LDS/Mormon, and there was expressed concern in the comments that perhaps someone had issues with them being so and made them feel unwelcome. While I can't guarantee it didn't happen because I had guests who are friends that are not religious/LDS, I will say I didn't witness any of it, I can be certain my family didn't, as my in-laws are also Mormon, and there's a mutual respect even if my family isn't LDS. I should have been more vigilant, though, as they, again, did a lot for us, and I should have made sure they felt as special as they were for doing all of it. I need to be more responsible and notice when a friend is giving too much. I worried about it, but Amy always said she was fine, and I just accepted it at face value. I should be more aware of how my friends really are feeling. I'll be more direct and immediate in my appreciation towards people I love in the future, instead of after. To explain the 2-month thing, I just want to clarify I attempted multiple times to reach out to Amy with no response. I backed off about a month-ish in because I didn't want to seem pushy, but that doesn't excuse it. Like said above, I should have done something even before the wedding itself. Update 1 week later. To those who hadn't seen the original post, my best friend helped me plan my wedding, and there were bumps in it regarding the execution of said wedding. She helped me with so much, and so did her family, and 2 months after the wedding, she told me she no longer wanted to be friends. OG's post-judgment is, overall, I am the jerk. I'll be honest, it didn't feel great, and I ended up reaching out, again, with more of an apology focused on not showing enough gratitude, and that, in the end, I should have had more prepped for her and the family. The response was not as expected. Never was about gifts. So, it turns out that, during the entirety of the planning, I wasn't up to speed enough, nor was my husband, fiancé at the time. The examples I had listed, like the makeup, cups, and others, were actually the piling of straws that eventually broke the friendship camel's back. I didn't list out all the examples, but there were other things that occurred like them. I don't want to hide crap, so what came up? We hadn't bought everything necessary, like the cups, plates, etc., in a timely manner. Everything was there eventually, like a month out, but the exact count wasn't given. RSVPs had not come back in the time we wanted, and seating order wasn't decided until that month out. Honestly, from what I've gotten back, it sounds like things were not as organized as hoped, and that just showed that we were just too different for the friendship to continue. It was too stressful to have an idea of what was needed and then for that to not happen in that timely manner. Looking back, yeah, planning styles were different, and I can understand how that would absolutely piss someone off. Like one comment mentioned, and I agree, I should have noticed the signs sooner and taken more initiative to either catch up or say that my husband and I could plan this independently. What mattered more was just having her be present as a bridesmaid. I'll take it as a learning lesson and move forward with just being more mindful of the friends I have. ScalingStories Corner. Yo, what? I'm a little stunlocked. A little bit. I for sure, 1000% for sure thought that the reason why Amy didn't want to be friends anymore was related to the thankfulness that OP didn't do. And even though OP was verbally very thankful towards Amy and her family, and I do agree that I think someone said, or OP said herself, that she could have prepared something on the wedding day to show appreciation to Amy and her family to better demonstrate her thanks better. But still, for that to not have been the problem, and it was more so I don't even know. Amy says that she was mad that OP didn't have all the supplies bought on time, but OP had bought all the supplies 1 month in advance. I'm mad confused. Is that not enough time? That seems like hella time to me. And she said the same things about the RSVPs and seating order. So it sounds like Amy was just way over controlling over OP's wedding. And since it wasn't how she was envisioning it, she took her frustration out on OP. and I think that makes her the jerk. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, "So, just a theory. The ex-friend is apparently LDS. I think that's a significant detail. Mormon girls and women are raised practically from birth to be endlessly giving, self-sacrificing, and also perfectionists in everything they do. They are often quietly expected to do this well past the point that it's causing them harm. They are to set their own feelings aside and take joy in giving everything they have to everyone else. Ex-friend did as was expected of her by her community and church. She was over-the-top generous, never saying a word of complaint, insisting that, no, this is fine, I am so happy to do this, even when OP checked in on her. All the while, she was probably falling apart inside from the self-imposed perfectionism and stress from it all. This complete break in the friendship probably had a lot more to it under the surface. I really think OP just became the convenient target for all the anger and resentment and feeling taken for granted that has likely been building up inside ex-friend for years. Anger and resentment that OP had no way of knowing about because ex-friend has never been allowed, either by her community or herself, to express it. OP, I really don't think you did anything wrong. I think there's a much bigger problem brewing inside your ex-friend that has almost nothing to do with you, and I don't think there was anything at all you could have done to prevent this rupture. That train left the station long before your wedding planning started." Commenter 2 says, "I don't know if you're a jerk, and I read both of your posts. My experience with LDS members is that they're very kind, very generous, and sometimes problematically so. There was no reason for her to volunteer, insist, on bearing so many of the wedding expenses. I'll even go as far as to say that it was inappropriate and a violation of financial boundaries that you tried to set but backpedaled on when she insisted. If she felt exploited, well, it's on her for insisting on doing so much and doing it her preferred way. I suspect that she and her family were possibly hoping that you would make a donation to their church as an expression of gratitude, or, if someone in their family was preparing for a mission, perhaps contribute to that cost. However, and I emphasize this, you are not a mind reader, and if you're a fly by the seat of your pants and wing it kind of planner, while she's a super organized and anticipatory planner, these individual differences will not work well together. It's a shame that she's holding unspoken resentment against you, because ultimately, this was your wedding. There's no crime in buying tableware a month in advance, and same goes for seating arrangements. I suspect that she had unrealistic expectations and huge control issues. She bought your makeup when you didn't want new makeup, and her feelings aren't really about you, but about her. At least now, you won't have to worry about kissing her ass and being performatively grateful for the rest of your life. Okay, friends, so that concludes our first story of the day. Next up, we have a story from the relationships subreddit. It was posted by imisskimkhollywood on September 13th, 2015, and was titled, "Me, 22 female, with my boyfriend, 23 male, of 1 year. He deleted the app Kim Kardashian Hollywood off my phone. Frowny face." This is going to sound really stupid. So, I really like the Kim Kardashian app. I've been playing it casually for about half a year, just for fun. It's a stress reliever for me when I wake up and after work, so I probably only put 20 minutes into it a day. I was pretty far into the app's storyline. I was hanging out with my boyfriend last night at my apartment when I got the full energy notification, so I opened it and played for about a minute. He'd never seen me play it before because I'm far from being addicted. He started making fun of me, which I totally get. It's a silly app, but I don't exactly look at iPhone apps for meaningful content. He started going on and on about how the Kardashians are famous for nothing, and that he was kind of disappointed that I was buying into it, which I argued against because I hadn't spent $1 on the app. Eventually, we both forgot about it and just watched the movie until it got late, and he went home to take care of his dog. I woke up this morning expecting notifications, but my phone was strangely empty, so I looked for the app, and it was just gone. I don't know when he deleted it. It must have been when I was in the bathroom or something. Usually, I would just get over something small like that, but anyone who's played the game knows that it takes forever to progress and actually get far, especially since I only played a little every day and didn't pay for anything. Frowny face. I'm so upset that he didn't ask me. He just deleted it without even telling me or trying to figure out why I enjoyed it. I don't like it for the Kardashians. I just think it's a fun, easy time killer. I was on the top 100 A-list with most of the houses and everything. I don't know what to do. I honestly kind of want to break up with him for being so inconsiderate, but I don't want to tell people that I ended a year-long relationship over a Kim Kardashian iPhone app. Frowny face. Apart from this, we've never had any major conflicts, and we've been considering moving in together when my lease is up, but I'm so upset about this. I feel like he doesn't even respect my belongings or my entertainment. ScalingStories Corner. Nah, that is completely messed up to do to your partner. So I kind of relate to this a bit, not in the sense that someone deleted a game off my phone, but in middle school, I was playing some game that was clearly pay to win. It was like a war game or something, but it was one of those games where you buy buildings to earn money and you use the money to like buy defensive buildings or troops. And there's like an energy counter that you can go on missions and stuff, right? I forgot how long I played, but I played it for so long and stayed low level for so long that I had a huge number of defensive buildings and troops while being at a low level. So essentially no one could attack me at my level, or if they attacked me, I would always win. And I kind of just stayed low level the entire time for fun. And I had like a ridiculous win rate. It was like something like 100, more than 100 wins and like 0 losses, right? So anyway, one day my friend was using my phone and he went on the game and like he attacked a higher level player. And of course I lost because I don't have any attack stats. I just main defense, right? So I got a loss on my record and that really hurt. It was like I lost all the work I put into making this like perfect stat account. And that's probably something similar to how OP feels, like she lost all her hard work. So her boyfriend is completely in the wrong for doing that. And if I was OP, I would only entertain one more conversation with the boyfriend. And if he doesn't apologize for what he's done, then it's just over. I definitely wouldn't want to be in a relationship with a person like that or move in with them if they're that inconsiderate and like mean. Yo, I'm just hopping in to put in another recording because I know someone's going to ask. But my friend at the time said, he said he was really sorry. And I said, oh, no, it's all good. Like, it's fine. I don't even really care. But I cared a lot. Now, here are some of the top/relevant comments from the original post. Commenter 1 says, try re-downloading it. There's a chance your progress could still be saved. I'd honestly confront him about it. Compare it to you deleting one of his games or save files or whatnot. I don't blame him for knocking the game as long as it's playful teasing, but deleting it is a dick move and slightly controlling. Not cool. Commenter 2 says, I mean, you're not really mad about losing your Kardashian progress. It sounds like you're mad he violated your boundaries. Well, honestly, I highly doubt he's realized there's a large amount of time that was invested in that game and that you actually had some accomplishments. He probably thought it was just some silly game to you and that you could immediately re-download it. Just talk to him calmly and let him know that you really don't like that he deleted it without your permission and explain why. You'll probably do a big apology, and if not, he's a jerk and you can dump him like you originally thought. Update 1 day later. Hi guys, I didn't expect so much support. I kind of anticipated people to be making fun of me for being so upset over a silly game, but it meant a lot to me that you took me seriously. So thank you. I'm sorry I didn't reply to anything. I was really down, but I did read every comment. I think the post got removed, so I'll post it in the comments. Some people were saying that if I was considering breaking up with him over the app, maybe I really was addicted, or maybe he was upset that I was playing the game while hanging out with him. Like I said, it was more about him being controlling than the app. And when we hung out, we generally just casually watched TV or a movie. He actually plays Candy Crush while we hang out, which reeks of hypocrisy to me, but it's just the Kim K part of the app he doesn't approve of. Also, thank you to everyone who gave me advice on re-downloading and getting my progress back. I didn't even think it would be saved, but it was. I'm back in the top 100. Also, thank you to everyone who suggested putting a passcode on my phone, but there was already one, and he knew it. Like a lot of you commented, it was more about the principle of him being so controlling and disrespecting than the actual game. I decided, after reading all your comments, that I would give him one chance to apologize because he genuinely hadn't been controlling before this incident. We hadn't talked for a little while because I really wasn't up to it, so I shot him a short message telling him that I was upset he tried to control my personal property and that I would like to talk to him in person. He replied back, basically saying, "Is the reason you've been ignoring me really about that effing game?" Which obviously didn't set the mood very well, but I told him I needed to talk to him in person regardless. We decided to get lunch somewhere today, and after we ate, I brought up the huge elephant in the room. I told him that it wasn't the app I cared about really, since I was able to re-download it. It was that he disapproved of something I enjoyed and tried to forcefully remove it from my life. I guess he didn't really understand what I was trying to say because he just got riled up and started saying things like, "If you care about Kim so much, why don't you date her instead of me?" And "I thought you were better than this." He was embarrassing me in public by getting so loud, so I told him that if he didn't calm down, I was going to leave. Then he said something along the lines of, "Fine, leave. If you're going to pick a game over me, then we're through." I didn't want to escalate things, so I just left and told him to talk to me later. He called me later, apologizing, saying that he overreacted and we would be fine as long as the app got deleted permanently this time. This made me reach my breaking point. I felt like he didn't listen to a thing I said earlier. I told him that I would actually take him up on the ultimatum he made, telling me to pick him or Kim, and that I'd pick Kim because at least she wouldn't delete things off my phone without permission. I felt like it was a really dramatic soap opera, lol. He's been blowing up my phone, but I'm still at that point in a breakup where you just feel relieved. I know I'm going to start getting upset about this soon, but I'm just glad he showed me this behavior now instead of after proposing or something. If I get tempted to take him back, I think I'll just read the comments of the original post. Thank you all for your advice, everyone. I'm sorry I couldn't give a happier ending. ScalingStories Corner. Nah, that was a pretty happy ending. OP gets her game back with all her progress saved, and she dumps her loser-controlling boyfriend. Because that guy is just full of red flags. Like, he doesn't listen to OP at all when she's talking. He attacks and makes fun of her, and his ultimatum was incredibly toxic. I think if she deleted that game off her phone, he would have just used the same ultimatum over and over for other things in their relationship to get his way. So this is actually the happiest ending for OP, even if she didn't know it at the time. Now here are some of the top/relevant comments from the update post. Commenter 1 says, saying that he overreacted and we would be fine as long as the app got deleted permanently this time. Lol, what? Was he molested by a Kardashian or something? What's his deal? I am really curious why he cares so much about what games you play on your phone. He's like the senator who argued against gay marriage with, "I'm not gay, so I don't want to get gay married." OP says, he's always ranted about how the Kardashians are famous because of a sex tape. I just never realized how strong his dislike was. Commenter 2, downvoted, says, would it have been any different if he had not erased it but instead gave you that ultimatum from the start? In other words, if you had to choose between him and the app, would the outcome be any different? OP says, I would have never deleted the app just because he doesn't like it, so the outcome probably would have been the same. I don't want to be controlled. Erasing it to begin with without asking was much more of a dick move than if he had given me the ultimatum instead, though. Okay friends, so that concludes today's video. Leave a like and comment down below to let me know what you thought of it, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.